Hi, my name is Jake, and this is going to be my top 10 books of all time, in my opinion, of course. And before I get started, I only have one rule: one book per author. Otherwise, this list would be full of Stephen King books, and that would be a little boring. So, one book per author. Number 10, we have The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat and Other Clinical Tales by the late, great Oliver Sacks. And this is the only nonfiction book I have on the list. The others are all fiction. And this is about 20 or so real life patients who have various mental disorders. And Oliver Sacks describes in great detail how the disorders are working in the brain and how he attempts to treat them. And it's very fascinating. Number 9, we have The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I believe this is the oldest book on my list. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. And this is about Holden Caulfield, who is a teenager who grows up in New York. And I don't really remember much about the plot, but I remember it being a really good character study, and getting to know Holden Caulfield was just really good. And I read this in a day. It was so good. And number 8, you can't tell what it is, but it is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the second Harry Potter book. And watching a lot of YouTube videos, it's a lot of people's least favorite Harry Potter book, which I find surprising because it's always been my favorite. Half-Blood Prince is a close second, but this is easily my favorite Harry Potter book. And number 7, we have 12 Kings and Sherikai by Bradley P. Bulio, I think is how you say it. It's the first book in the Song of Shattered Sands, and it is really good. I mean, just so good. And I really need to read the second book, With Blood Upon the Sand. I do have it, and I will read it soon. But this book is about Cheda, and who is a pit fighter in this desert-like setting, who wants to get revenge on the 12 kings for possibly killing her mother. And it was so good. Next book I have, number 6, The Lies of Locke Lamora, which is the first book in the Gentleman Bastard sequence, I think it's what it's called. And its main characters are Locke and John, and they have a gang of thieves, and in this book, they are attempting to rob and perform a really elaborate heist, and it's Scott Lynch is easily one of my favorite fantasy authors. He's so good at writing. And the top 5. Number 5, we have The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury. He's easily my favorite science fiction author, and this might actually be the oldest book on my list. I think this was written in early 1950s, so I think it is. Anyway, this is my favorite short story collection by him, and every short story in here is just so original, so emotional, so good. And number 4, we have The Key to Midnight by Dean Koontz. He's a well-known author, but this is probably one of his more obscure books because normally he's well known for his horror and his sci-fi books, but this is really like a mystery crime novel that takes place in Japan. I thought it was really good, and I read this in one setting. I could not stop reading it. Next, we have number 3, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, which is the first book in the Stormlight Archive. It's the first book I ever read by him, and it's been my favorite since. It's just, everything about this book is just perfect in my mind. In number 2, we have A Storm of Swords, which is the third book, or by George R. R. Martin, of course. And it's the third book in A Song of Ice and Fire. This is a lot of people's favorites, and it's mine too, for good reason. because from start to finish, it is just so good. There's so many things that happen in this book, so many just things you don't see coming, and it's just fantastic. And my all-time favorite book, The Dead Zone by Stephen King. My favorite book by my favorite author, so it gets the number one spot. And there's for me there is nothing wrong with this book in my opinion. It's that good. And my favorite part about this book is that after I read the last line, after I finished it, everything in this book felt like it actually happened. It felt real to me. And when a book can do that, it's good. And I really like how Stephen King combines a lot of genres into one. Like he's mainly known for horror, but Johnny's ability in this book, that's sort of sci-fi, and then he has to use that ability to solve a murder. So it's kind of a mystery element, crime element, and there's also a romance element, and there's also a political element. So it's just it's so good. I could talk about it all day, but yeah, The Dead Zone, my favorite book of all time. And that is my top 10 list. Thank you for watching.